ladies, we are going to make wreaths today. Things you need. You need a wreath form, of course. You want some ribbon, depending on whatever you're looking for. We've got here. And of course the mesh is all the fun. You'll need scissors and hot glue gun. But the most important thing you're gonna need is line. So make sure you have that handy. So you're gonna start with your wreath form. Make sure that you take off the tag. And then you are gonna want to take your ties and separate them. So you're just gonna pull them out. It doesn't matter where you start on the form, as long as you do take them out and then just separate them. All right, so today we're using the mesh, of course. This is 10 yards. Typically you should use about 5 yards per wreath. And then of course, however many mesh colors you wanna use. This is the small mesh, so it's gonna create a smaller wreath. For a more fluffy wreath like this one, you're gonna wanna use the longer rolls, which are about 21 inches by 10 yards. So we're gonna go ahead and start doing that. Just gonna hang this one up. So in order to start it, you're just gonna take the mesh. You wanna grab it here at the end, and if this isn't a perfect line, it's just fine. Then you're gonna take it and pull back. Anywhere on the form is fine, wherever you wanna start. You're just gonna push it in and then twist it and twist it again. One time is fine. Then you're gonna go ahead and grab and bunch, make a loop. The loop should not be too big. Of course, we're trying to make sure everyone has enough, so you're just gonna share. So same thing, push it down and twist. You're gonna do the same thing up and down. Every now and then you're gonna find a section that is, too close together as far as the forward and back is concerned, and that's fine. You can just go ahead and skip any of the ties because you'll make up for it elsewhere. If you remember where it's at, you can start your second layer of mesh in that area if you want to. So these are about 10 inches in length total. And just back and forth, just like that. Three. All right, so we have a perfect example of when two of them are too close together. So you can see here, this is where I've tied it, and there's one right there, but unfortunately there's nothing in between the two, so I just went ahead and skipped this one and went up to the top. With that being skipped, we're gonna start our next level. I'm just gonna start there. So even though I ended over here somewhere, we're gonna start where that one was, just to kind of fill in the gaps. So you're gonna start here, tie it, and then you are gonna go behind this one and tie it off here. Pause it. All right, so just go ahead and tie it here. Same thing like you did before, you're just tying directly on top of the one you had previously. So since when we get underneath this one, we're taking this gold and we're going above and around this red. And the same thing, you're just gonna tie. You're just going back and forth, back and forth. So now we're going underneath and tying here. So right now we're actually gonna be tying in two bottoms. And if it feels like it's funny at first, it's totally fine, because once you have added in the third level and you've done pine cones, everything just blends. Now we're gonna go up and tie. Make sure there's enough volume there. And just continue the pattern. All right, ladies, so we finished the second row, obviously. We've got red and gold going. And I just wanted to show you when you cut either the gold or red or wherever you're cutting it, you just need a little room. You actually just want to make sure that you can tuck it just a little so you can push it back, okay? You can always glue that in if it bothers you if it's sticking out. But we've completed our 2 rows. We're gonna start our 3rd row, but before we do, this is just a friendly reminder, you need to drink your wine. This is, see, look. Everything's better when you do that. So, after you've done that, you can start your 3rd row. The exact same process. You're just gonna do the gather at the end, and anywhere you want to start, you tie it in. So here we are, a little bit left. If some of you are running out of room on these ties, because if you've used the thicker mesh, sometimes you run out of room, it's okay. You can actually untie it, untie again, making sure you're exposing the next level down, and just tuck it in there, and go ahead and wrap it in. They don't each need their own layer of wrapping. So then you're gonna take it and go around. I'm gonna choose to go around the red on this one. So I've got gold behind, red in the middle, and then the 3rd level, which is my plaid, is going to be on the front. So you're gonna do the same thing, loop it, and tie. These ties are all really long. I'm lucky none of them have broke. Sometimes you'll end up with a broken tie. You can either skip that tie or you can go ahead and figure out a way to kind of wrap it around. So I've gone over the red here. I'm gonna go back this way, keeping the red in the middle. Even if you have double colors combined, it's fine. See how we've got the plaid on plaid, it's totally fine. And same thing, grab some. Keeping the red in the middle. And just continue all the way around, making sure whatever color that you chose in the beginning is staying in the middle, just gathering and tying all the way around. All right, as you can see, we're done with the 3 layers. So we've got gold, red, and we've got plaid. It's not always going in between the red, it's not always going in between the gold. It just kind of depends on how you end up going. Don't worry about whether it looks perfect or not. So you've got 3 here. It just ends up not mattering. And if you don't like it, you can always just push one back, pull the red through, and you have a different look. The other thing I wanted to say is now that you have 3 layers of mesh or ribbon in, you're gonna just take each of these ties and tie them back. As you can tell, I've done that already with the rest of them. You just want those to be hidden because that's where you're gonna place pine cones, that's where you're gonna place your Santas, or whatever other thing you've come up with. So here we have our glue gun. We've got the wine. Like I said, you ladies should be drinking it. And of course, all of our little accessories we want to add in. How you add them in depends on yourself. If you look at this wreath, all we did here was just a simple couple pine cones and a sign. With this one, we're going to add in some Santa because this is for a friend who loves Santa, old-fashioned Santa, which isn't this a perfect little old-fashioned Santa? And we're just going to, pick places to put him. So kind of just wherever you feel is appropriate. You'll just find spots throughout the wreath. Since I have 4, I'm gonna try to make it as even as possible. And then I'll do the filler, and that'll be pine cones. And when I put the pine cones in, I'm gonna place everything directly on top of where those ties are. And that's so that you can hide the ties. So anywhere you choose to put it, you're gonna kind of figure out your placement before you start gluing. And then once you decide to start gluing, you already know where you're gonna put them, and you're just gonna glue. So that's it, it's as simple as that. All right, ladies, so this is pretty much the finished product. I wanted to show you a little bit about the application and making sure that everything is solid. So I always like to wiggle them a little, make sure they're all secure. If they're not, and you've only secured it to, say, the top of this, remember, you want to place them on top of these ties. So if you've only secured it to that and it's still wiggly, you can, of course, add the glue and then attach it to something else. Make sure not to burn yourself. I did want to show one of me actually applying. So what I'm going to do is just add a little glue here. You can see the glue on top. And tuck this down and stick it on. And you're going to hold that because you want to make sure that it's not moving. And then once it's secure, then we can always double check to make sure that it's not wiggling. And I just wanted to show you the difference between the two wreaths. Every one of you will have a different looking wreath. And so here is the difference between the two wreaths. One is more of the gold and white, whereas one takes on the red and the gold. And it just kind of depends on the personality. Everyone's will be different, and all of them will be wonderful. So when you're done, you can add any kind of little decor you want. The only thing is, once you have added a pine cone above a tie, it won't be possible to actually add any other layers. So make sure that you're happy with your layers and you're happy with everything. And of course, don't forget to drink your wine.